Today's homeless crisis can possibly be traced back to the last bill signed by President John F. Kennedy. In 1963, the Community Mental Health Act closed America's insane asylums. While this law helped transform the often barbaric treatment of the mentally ill, it's also led to unforeseen problems.
Yeah, well, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and I think that's a great example of deinstitutionalization.
Psychiatrist Kenneth Rosenberg says the sad consequence is people with those same issues often go untreated today.
That's just a sin, if you ask me, and that's something that we really have to correct.
About 11 million Americans have a serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, suicidal depression, or severe PTSD, which can render them utterly dysfunctional. In his book, Bedlam, An Intimate Journey into America's Mental Health Crisis, the author and filmmaker says these people ping-pong between the street and a jail cell.
Los Angeles is the epicenter of this crisis. The largest mental institution in this country is the LA County Jail. The largest collection of people outside is in Skid Row. Skid Row is kind of like a day hospital, if you will, for people with serious mental illness.
Add to this equation an estimated 8 out of 10 people living on the streets struggle with addiction. For the mentally ill, that's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
We know there are factors that can bring a mental illness out of the woodwork, open a window, if you will, on serious mental illness that would otherwise be closed. What are those factors? Poverty, trauma, going to jail. Unfortunately, most of the mentally ill end in jail nowadays. And above all else, substance abuse.
Although this perfect storm may seem hopeless, Dr. Rosenberg offers concrete solutions, starting with community treatment centers.
These are terrible diseases, but people can get better. They may not be curable, but they are very treatable.
Also expanding the number of mental health courts.
We can mandate treatment for people who are too sick to know that they need it.
And developing drugs that work better with fewer side effects.
The medicines we're using for serious mental illness today are 70 years old. I think that's absolutely terrible. God forbid you have breast cancer, God forbid you have colon cancer. You're going to get a treatment that's 2 or 3 years old, not one that's 70 years old.
For family and friends of someone going through this, Dr. Rosenberg says eating healthy, lowering stress, sleeping well, minimizing drug use where possible, and feeling connected all help minimize mental illness. Doctors say psychotic illness typically comes on between ages 17 and 21, and the longer the brain goes untreated, the worse it becomes. So early intervention is key.
And there are people in your community, in your church, in your synagogue, who could help you think this through. The clergy are very proficient in understanding how to deal with this, how to send you to the proper health care providers, people who will be consistent with your own spiritual practices.
So while America grapples with issues both past and present in treating the mentally ill, there's still hope by making it a priority and using a variety of treatments. Lori Johnson, CBN News.